You're 12 years old, standing on the deck of a warship, and you can't stop vomiting. The irony hasn't hit you yet, but it will. You're going to become the greatest naval commander in history, and every single voyage for the next 40 years will make you violently seasick. Welcome to your life, Horatio Nelson. It's 1770, and your uncle just pulled strings to get you into the Royal Navy. You're the sixth of 11 kids born to a country parson in Norfolk. And honestly, nobody expected much from you. Your mom died when you were 9. Your dad's a reverend who can barely afford to feed everyone. The Navy isn't your dream. It's your only option. The seasickness never goes away. Every voyage, without fail, you're leaning over the rail while other sailors smirk. But here's what they don't see coming. You're obsessive. While they're sleeping, you're studying navigation charts. While they're drinking, you're learning from every officer who'll talk to you. By 20, you pass your lieutenant examination. Most guys take years longer. Your body starts falling apart almost immediately. You're 28 when a cannonball kicks up debris during a land assault in Corsica and something slices across your face. When the dust clears, your right eye is ruined. No pirate patch, despite what the paintings will show later. You just can't see out of it anymore. 3 years later, things get worse. You're leading an assault on Santa Cruz de Tenerife when a musket ball shatters your right arm. The ship's surgeon doesn't have anesthesia. They just hold you down and saw it off while you're fully conscious, feeling every stroke of the blade cutting through bone. The entire amputation takes less than 30 minutes. You're back on deck giving orders within an hour, one-armed and half-blind, telling your men where to position the guns. Most officers would retire. You don't even consider it. What you do consider is how everyone else fights naval battles wrong. For a century, the standard tactic has been lining up parallel to the enemy and trading cannonballs like some gentleman's duel. Boring, indecisive, safe, you hate safe. Your philosophy becomes simple. Get close. Hit hard. Trust your captains to think for themselves. You start calling your officers together before battles, explaining your overall plan but letting them figure out the details. They love it. You're creating initiative where the system demands obedience. The crews love you too. You learn their names. You check on their families. When rations run low, you eat what they eat. They start calling you Arnell behind your back, which is basically unheard of. Admirals don't get affectionate nicknames. Then August 1798 arrives, and you're about to prove that everything the Navy thinks it knows about warfare is outdated. The French fleet is anchored in Aboukir Bay near Alexandria, and their admiral assumes he's positioned perfectly. Shore on one side, guns facing the open water. He's wrong, and you see exactly why. If the French are anchored, there must be enough water between them and shore for your ships to sail through. You split your fleet. Half attacks from the seaward side like the French expect. The other half sails between their line and the shore, hitting them from the side they never prepared. Their guns on that side are cluttered with supplies. Half their crews are on the beach gathering provisions. The battle starts at sunset and rages through the night. Flames light up the darkness. Then the French flagship explodes in a fireball so massive both sides stop shooting for several minutes, just staring. By morning, 11 of 13 French ships are destroyed or captured. You've stranded Napoleon's entire army in Egypt and killed French control of the Mediterranean. They make you Baron Nelson of the Nile. You're a celebrity now. 3 years later, you're second in command under Admiral Hyde Parker off Copenhagen. The Danes have built serious defenses, shore batteries, shallow, treacherous waters. During the fight, 3 of your ships run aground. It's going badly. Parker signals from his distant ship, discontinue action and retreat. Your officers nervously point out the signal. You raise your telescope to your blind eye. I really do not see the signal, you announce, and keep fighting. Your captains grin. The Danes eventually break. You negotiate a truce. The phrase turning a blind eye enters the language because of you. Parker could have court-martialed you for insubordination. Instead, you're proven right again. October 21st, 1805. Napoleon's combined French and Spanish fleet, 33 ships, needs to control the English Channel long enough for invasion. You've got 27 ships. Before battle, you signal the fleet. England expects that every man will do his duty. Instead of the traditional parallel line, you split into 2 columns sailing perpendicular straight at the enemy line. It's insane. Your leading ships will take fire they can't return, but once you break through, the chaos lets your superior gunnery dominate at close range. You're wearing your full dress uniform with all your medals despite officers begging you to change. You want the men to see you. 1:15 in the afternoon, you're on Victory's deck when a French musket ball hits your left shoulder, tears through your spine, and lodges in your back. You know immediately it's fatal. They carry you below while the battle rages. For 3 hours you lie there, spine shattered, asking for updates. 18 enemy ships captured or destroyed. 0 British ships lost. At 4:30, you hear the news of total victory and whisper, "Thank God I have done my duty." Then you're gone. They preserve your body in brandy for the voyage home. Over 100,000 people line London's streets for your funeral. You're buried in St. Paul's Cathedral in a coffin made from wood of that French flagship you exploded at the Nile. Britain's naval supremacy will last another century because of what you proved. Aggression beats caution, initiative beats obedience, and sometimes the greatest leaders are the ones broken enough to see warfare differently. You spent your entire career seasick, half-blind, and one-armed. You broke rules, ignored orders, and rewrote naval warfare while your body literally fell apart. Most men would have quit after losing an eye. You lost an arm and didn't even take a day off. Your personal life was a scandal. You left your wife for another man's spouse, had a child out of wedlock, and died begging the nation to care for a woman they despised. They ignored that final request. Emma Hamilton died broke and alone in France a decade later. But your tactics, they're still taught in naval academies worldwide. That signal at Trafalgar, still the Royal Navy's most famous tradition. Nelson's column stands 169 feet tall in the middle of London because a seasick parson's son decided that being cautious was worse than being dead. You proved that physical limitations mean nothing if your mind stays sharp. That conventional wisdom exists to be shattered, that the difference between history and obscurity is refusing to accept what everyone else calls impossible. You were born with no advantages, destroyed by injuries that would end most careers, and you still became the standard every naval commander measures themselves against. 2 centuries later, they're still trying to match what you did with one arm and one eye on a ship that made you violently ill.